In the remote village of Aberlin, nestled between dense forests and towering mountains, a sinister legend whispered through the generations. It spoke of a malevolent force that cast an impenetrable shadow over the village. This supernatural being, known as the Soul Collector, preyed on the souls of Aberlin's inhabitants, stealing their life force and condemning their spirits to eternal torment. Despite its infamy, the Soul Collector remained a spectral figure lurking in the shadows of the village's collective memory. It was a dark, stormy night when the wind howled like a banshee's wail and lightning fractured the sky. The villagers huddled in their homes, the fireplaces flickering in the cold night as they prayed for the storm to pass. The air outside was thick with tension, as if the very atmosphere was warning them of the horrors yet to come. But among the villagers, a young woman named Gwen stood defiant, refusing to succumb to fear. She had grown tired of the whispers and the shadows that consumed her people. Determined to uncover the truth behind the Soul Collector and end its reign of terror, Gwen ventured into the heart of the storm, armed with nothing but her courage and a centuries-old journal passed down through her family. As Gwen wandered deeper into the forest, the storm's fury intensified, and the shadows around her seemed to come alive. Each flash of lightning cast monstrous figures on the trees, and the thunder roared with demonic laughter. But Gwen pressed on, her eyes locked on her destination, the ancient ruins of a once magnificent castle. The castle was said to be the stronghold of the Soul Collector, a place where it stored the stolen souls of its victims. Gwen hoped to find some clue there that would help her unravel the enigma that plagued her village. As she approached the castle, its crumbling walls and eerie silence sent shivers down her spine. Despite her fear, she felt a strange magnetic pull towards the dark structure. Entering the castle, Gwen was met with a chilling sight. The walls were adorned with grotesque paintings and inscriptions that seemed to depict the Soul Collector's horrific deeds. Among the grotesque images, she found one that caught her eye, a figure cloaked in darkness, holding a lantern filled with the souls of the damned. With a sense of dread, Gwen realized that the lantern was the key to defeating the Soul Collector. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Gwen delved deeper into the castle's dark corridors. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the floors were slick with a substance that made her skin crawl. As she explored the shadowy halls, Gwen could feel the weight of countless tormented souls watching her, their silent pleas for salvation echoing in her ears. In the deepest bowels of the castle, Gwen discovered a hidden chamber. The room was cloaked in darkness, save for a single, flickering lantern suspended from the ceiling. The lantern cast a sickly glow over the room, revealing a sight that nearly broke Gwen's resolve. The walls were lined with the desiccated remains of countless villagers, their eyes wide with eternal terror, and their mouths forever frozen in silent screams. Gwen's heart raced, but she knew that she could not turn back. She had to face the Soul Collector and free her people from its grasp. As she approached the lantern, she could feel the malevolent energy radiating from it, and she knew that she was standing in the presence of pure evil. With a deep breath, Gwen raised her arms and chanted the ancient incantation she had found in her family's journal. The words echoed through the chamber, the ancient language intertwining with the dark energy that filled the room. As she spoke the final words, the lantern began to tremble, and the shadows around her coalesced into a sinister figure, the Soul Collector. The creature towered over Gwen, its inky black form swirling with the tormented souls it had collected. Its eyes burned with a malevolent fire, and its voice was like the howling wind that had chased her through the storm. It demanded to know why she dared to invade its domain. Gwen stood her ground, her voice shaking but resolute. She told the Soul Collector that she had come to put an end to its reign of terror and free the souls it had stolen. The creature laughed, its voice like thunder echoing through the chamber. It told her that she was a fool to challenge it, that she would soon join the ranks of the damned, but Gwen refused to back down. She focused her willpower, drawing upon the love and strength of her ancestors, and channeled it into a powerful force. The air crackled with energy, and the lantern's sickly light flickered and waned. It is very difficult to write and collect each of our stories. All this is for you. So please subscribe and support us. As the battle between Gwen and the Soul Collector raged on, the villagers in Apurlin began to feel the effects of their struggle. The storm outside intensified, and the village shook as though it were in the grip of an earthquake. The people huddled together, praying for salvation and hoping against hope that Gwen would triumph against the darkness. In the hidden chamber, Gwen fought with all her might, her incantations and sheer determination slowly draining the Soul Collector's power. The creature roared in fury, the souls within it howling in torment as they began to slip from its grasp. In a final desperate effort, the Soul Collector lunged at Gwen, its black tendrils reaching for her heart. But Gwen stood strong, her love for her people fueling her resolve. With a powerful chant, she unleashed a blinding light that tore through the darkness and enveloped the Soul Collector. The creature screamed in agony as its form disintegrated, the souls it had collected breaking free from its control. The lantern shattered, releasing the captive spirits to ascend towards the heavens, finally free from their torment. As the last remnants of the Soul Collector vanished, the storm outside Apurlin subsided, and a sense of peace settled over the village. The villagers emerged from their homes, awestruck by the sudden calm and the light that had filled the night sky. Gwen, exhausted and drained from her ordeal, returned to the village as the sun began to rise. The people of Apurlin welcomed her with open arms, their gratitude and adoration shining in their eyes. They knew that she had defeated the Soul Collector and freed their ancestors' souls from eternal torment. In the years that followed, the legend of the Soul Collector and Gwen's brave confrontation became an integral part of Apurlin's history. The villagers would gather on stormy nights, recounting the tale by firelight and honoring the memory of the young woman who had saved them from the clutches of darkness. And although the shadows of the past still lingered in the hearts and minds of the people of Apurlin, they were no longer haunted by the sinister presence of the Soul Collector. If you like such horror stories, then definitely subscribe. We always come up with horror stories for you. Comment if you like our stories and share them with your friends.